Hey guys and gals, this is Bloggy of the Broken Legion of Gamers, and in this video, this is going to be my first ever Kickstarter spotlight, where I'm going to spotlight a Kickstarter that I really believe in and I think is a phenomenal value, and I think that my subscribers would really benefit from backing said project. The project that this Kickstarter spotlight is going to be based on is a project called Survivors of Serath by 3dartdigital. Survivors of Serath is a Kickstarter campaign that's selling 3D print files for gaming miniatures and terrain pieces. I reached on their Kickstarter, they have a sample print that you can download the file for and print out the sample, and I'm going to show you that one. And I reached out to them and told them my intentions on doing this video and asked them if I could get like one more of the miniatures and one of the terrain features to print out and show off to you guys, and they kindly responded and sent me the files I asked for. So I'm gonna show you guys the miniatures, the two miniatures and the terrain piece, and just go through some of the other things on the campaign. Now, this campaign has 3 pledge levels: a $35 pledge level, which is just for the miniature core set, and with that pledge level, you also get a few of the miniature stretch goals. There's also a $35 terrain pledge, and that gets you a full set of terrain and a few other stretch goals, and a lot of the stretch goals are for add-ons, but there's also a $71 all-in pledge that gets you the miniature core set, the terrain core set, all the stretch goals for those, and all the add-ons. And at the cost of the add-ons that have been already added through stretch goals, it's a phenomenal value. You're definitely getting your money's worth, and then some, probably double your money's worth. But let's go on to showing off the miniatures. This guy right here is Pyrael Flamewave. He is a necromancer. Hold on, let me get my piece of cardboard so I can get that focus in properly. Don't mind me, guys. I'm currently working on a whole new setup for my hobby area. I'll do a channel update and show it off, and I can't find my cardboard piece. So can't find my piece of cardboard. So to get this to focus in, this right here is Pyrael Flamewave. He's got a custom base with cobblestone and flame work. And what's cool about this file is the base, as you can see, was hollowed out, and they put drain plugs in it to make it easier to print. And this guy was printed on my El Gumars. I need to do some further curing on it, but as you can see, this thing came out like glass smooth. All the details are very well defined. They put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into designing these miniatures. Okay, and now on to the next miniature. This one is called Gorntak the Gentle. He's an orc, and all of these miniatures, they wrote up little bios, and that little box, that little cutout right there, is where his pack goes in, and they did such a good job designing these. that needs to be cured a little bit more, that it's so tight. The reason why the pack isn't glued in is because I've got to figure out which way the pack sits in. I'm assuming this way because, and look, such tight tolerances, the pack doesn't even fall. But this is Gorntak the Gentle. His fluff is he basically turned his back from the violent ways of orcs, and he just wanders around as a nomad. And there's a few other miniatures that I think all the miniatures are phenomenal, but a few of my favorites, unfortunately I don't have the files for them, is Heldros Musuko Ono. He's a huge giant werewolf. Then there's Skorgi Frozenheart. He's a huge Viking-like frost giant. And now let's move on to the piece of terrain that they sent me. They sent me this pretty tall freaking Dwarf Totem, and this was printed without supports on my Ender 3 Pro. So this was FDM printed, not resin printed. Although looking at the height of it, I could have definitely printed this on the Elegoo Mars, but because it was a big honking piece of terrain, I figured let's print on the FDM because it's a little bit cheaper. And yeah, I gotta do some cleanup. As I said, I printed this up without supports, so there's gonna be a couple blemishes, but you can even see they went through the process of actually putting in the wood grain in that, as you could see right there, and then the dwarf heads on both sides, and these little arrowheads and the spikes on it, and up top they even did detail on the top. This printed out phenomenally. And on the terrain side of the campaign, they're through the stretch goals, they've unlocked 2 full sets of terrain. One of them's called Furcrane, and it can either be a orc or dwarf fortress. And then they also and this right here is an ancestral totem. It's part of the dwarf terrain set. And then there's also, through stretch goals, they also unlocked an abandoned farmstead. And the second full set of terrain that they unlocked is called Vertigron, the Keep of the Tarnished Scale. If you ask me, it kind of looks a little bit chaosy, but that's just my opinion. But if you guys have 3D printers or are thinking about getting 3D printers, this is definitely a project worth checking out. And this right here, with the pre-supports that they put in, this was my first ever print on my Elegoo Mars, and it came out perfectly. That's how good these files are. All the details, I gotta clean up some of what's left over from the supports, but everything came out flawlessly. Like the bottom of the base has a ton of freaking support marks on it, but all the detail came out great, and you could even see how much detail they put into the face with the 2 teeth coming up. And these are 28mm heroic scale miniatures, so pretty much Age of Sigmar type scale. But that's all for this video, guys, and sorry about the background noise. Both my 3D printers are printing away at some assets for a video that's going to be coming out in a few days, another Kickstarter spotlight, a Kickstarter that'll go real well with these miniatures, actually. But go check out your Survivors of Serath on Kickstarter, and definitely back this project. It's definitely worth it. They're putting out some amazing files. But that's it for this video, guys. If you like what you saw, and if now that you're planning on backing this Kickstarter, hit that like button and comment down to let me know if you're gonna back this Kickstarter. When they release all the files, when the Kickstarter is over, I'm gonna print up more of these files, and I'm actually gonna start painting, and I'll paint up the files and show you guys how they came out. But now's the time to get in. There's only 3 days left in the campaign, so jump on it now while you can. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified anytime I put up any future videos. And as always, whenever possible, I know this is a Kickstarter spotlight, but whenever possible, support local wargaming. Here at the channel, we support Toy Wiz in Nanuet, New York, on Route 59, right across the street from the Dunkin' Donuts. Have a nice night, guys.